it like it's hot. Maybe you need to work on your air conditioning. Thank you, Tracy. Oh, Christine had a bad first date tonight. That sucks. That sucks. Hey, you know what though? It's date though. It's rolling, man. If that's what the situation is, that's good. That's good. You know why? You know why? Because it's a numbers game. That's what it is. It's a game of numbers. All right, let's go to Maine. 151. Bring up this timer. Bring up this timer, and let's go to chat. Hello, everyone. How are you? And namaste. I don't know why all of a sudden I became a yoga instructor. Hello, everyone. How are you? Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. All I do know is, let's turn this off. What I do know is I've been scrambling. I missed call time for a book club I was supposed to be on at 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock. So wound up getting on that a half an hour late. So I am completely chit-chatted out because I did not understand what a schedule was. I did not prepare. Which is different than prepare. It's a different thing. Let's go settings. Let me just turn on my Wi-Fi because, you know, we got that high-level San Francisco startup Wi-Fi going on, you guys. There we go. All right. Meaning we have slow internet. Just enough to get the job done. Yes, Reese's. You know, Forex, that's a good point. Forex points out, hey, at least it's the first date and not the 10th date you find out it's bad. Or, as I like to call it, it's not the 10th date where you find out that shit is crazy. It's a good thing. By the way, if you've made it to the 10th date and your date is not crazy, you're the crazy one. Just letting you guys know how all of this actually works in the dating world, from which I am retired, ladies and gentlemen. That's not true. Me and Ariel Gerhol stuff, we got like 4 dates this week and 3 next week. It's insane. It's out of control. Social life. Bumping. Martin Evans. What's up, man? Look, Christine, if you wore a Kraken's shirt on a date and it was still a bad date, wash that man right out of your hair. I can't do the hair, so brush him away. Whatever, I don't care. Or man, person, whoever the hell it is. They don't get a Kraken's t-shirt. So what they should be like this. They should be like, that's an interesting t-shirt. Why don't you tell me about that t-shirt? Say hello to your mother for me. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. Christine left before he got his Starbucks drink. That's I guess the writing's on the wall. But hey, man, congratulations on the date. That's awesome. Look at the positives. You can't get into the Hall of Fame by batting .332 unless you get your at-bats at the plate. It's all about getting your at-bats at the plate. Rob, you are the crazy one. I've been on way more than 10 dates with you, and I assure you, you're the crazy one, and that's coming from me. That's saying something. All right. Let's see how my sound looks good. Steve Rickenberg, you are the crazy one. But Steve's a calm crazy. Steve's not an out of control crazy. Steve's like a real mellow, in the groove crazy. Steve is the one who will surprise you by the 9th date. And you're like, oh shit, he's crazy? Didn't know. I didn't see it. I wasn't paying attention because it's secret. Let's get into it. Let's see how well the voice holds up, you guys. Okay, everything looks kind of cool. Let's go ahead and get here. Slay lower third. Bring that up a snooch. Oh. I forgot one element. I told you guys I was totally scrambling here at the end. And that's blown out. Let's take a look at it real quick. What are we going to do? Show webcam settings panel. It's probably the orange of the shirt that blows everything out. Try this one. Okay, there we go. Bring the saturation back a bit. There we go. I'm pale faced to begin with. Can't help it. Moving the chat to the other screen so I'm not distracted by all of you very funny, very interesting, very smart people. Not going to do it. All right, let's go. Here we go. Let's get it on. So, this is episode 32 of Slay. This episode's titled Tequila. And frankly, after this, I got nothing but the normal chit-chat because I've been writing all day and then talking all day, and now we're going to get into it. Let's go. Hit record. Welcome to Slay episode number 32. Might be the second to last episode. I'm not entirely sure. Let me get you caught up on the story so far, and then we're going to start giving you the violence. Butch and the Rolling Outlaws followed Billy to the old stone church and used a spell given to him by Boss Hawg to bind Dragon in a golden meshwork net. Magda and Ariella tried to fight Butch and his men, but Magda's flashback from her fight with Vestinian left her helpless in the fetal position. Ariella rescued Magda. The two women are likely somewhere in the church being hunted by Butch's men. Butch then told Billy it was time for Billy to pay for Big Hack's death. Dante and his bounty hunters are coming for Callista. Outside her building, Lincoln and Mercutio attack the Flechette Sisters and their giant panthers. Lincoln landed a near-killing shot on Betty Flechette, then fled for the secret passage that led into the building where he and Mercutio could connect with Callista, her club kid troops, and her bodyguard, Bobby the Minotaur. Mercutio used the passage's door to cut a pursuing panther in half, but Veronica Flechette blew up that door, filling the passage with smoke and broken brick. And now, episode 32 of Slay. Lincoln pushed himself up. Crumbled brick and clods of dirt tumbled off his cloak. His ears rang. He coughed out a cloud of red dust. From under a thin pile of rubble, he saw the pale lavender glow of Mercutio's illuminated gauntlet, the only light in the narrow and battered tunnel. And behind him, coming down the steps, he heard the crunching tread of booted feet working their way down unsure footing. Lincoln grabbed Mercutio's wrist and dragged him out of the rubble. "You killed my sister!" Veronica's voice sounded tinny in the close confines. "You hear me, Franks? You killed my sister, and you killed Fluffykins! I'm gonna slice off your cock and make you choke on it!" An invitation to a dance that Lincoln did not want to attend. With his right hand, he drew his Vepr 12 shotgun from the folds of his cloak. With his left, he pulled the stubby, warded shield wand from the cuff of his armored boot. He pointed more than aimed the shotgun down the dark, dust-filled tunnel, held down the trigger as he waggled the weapon left and right. 12 steel shotgun slugs spit forth in less than 2 seconds. "Scudameris," Lincoln said, and dropped the wand onto the rubble. Jade green light flared from the wand, creating a bright band of illumination up the walls and across the tunnel's arch top just as return fire roared his way. Some bullets sparked into green bursts of nothingness as they hit the shield and disintegrated. Other bullets punched through, dragging molten drops of glowing threadwork behind them like little emerald comet trails. Lincoln reached into his cloak again as he hit the mag release lever, dropping the empty magazine. He popped in a fresh mag, grabbed Mercutio's wrist again, and dragged the unconscious, armored man down the passage like an overstuffed bag of trash. The ward shield wouldn't stop all the rounds, and it wouldn't hold for long, but it was something. Lincoln felt and heard bullets punching through his cloak to bounce off the armor on his back and shoulders. He kept moving. He felt renewed pain in his thigh where Veronica had nailed him with her thrown spike. Pain, piercing, biting, and spreading. Poison. Shit. He'd felt the like before. His leg would grow numb and motionless within seconds, the rest of him soon to follow. he had an unpleasant vision of lying still and helpless as Veronica Flechette made good on her promise of making Lincoln gag on his own dick. He had to find his way back to Callista and Bobby, and he had to do it fast. Knuckles smashed into Billy's cheek, snapping his head sideways and making him stumble backwards. "Oh, shit, Butch," Money Monday said. "That's a bomb right hook." Billy thudded into the stone wall, his head throbbing and his vision little more than a blur. "I'm telling you, I didn't kill Big Hack." Billy heard dragons growl, a muffled thing of anguish and raw fury. He heard the Rolling Outlaws slamming their bodies into the nave doors, trying to get them open. And he heard the laughter of the 3 or 4 other outlaws that were still there, rather than searching the church, still here watching Butch beat his candy ass. A fist slammed into his stomach, then his ribs, then his stomach again, driving the wind from his lungs. Billy slid down the wall to his knees, the panic of not being able to draw breath instantly blocking out any thought. "Damn," Money said. "A body shot combo and the challenger is in trouble." Billy held out his right hand, waving it blindly in an attempt to ward off the next blow, to fend off the damage. It didn't work. Butch's fist crashed into his right ear. Billy's forehead clonked against the floor before he even knew he had fallen. Dragon's choked roar hurt Billy's heart. "A punch after the man was down, but the ref didn't see it," Money said. "The challenger looks hurt, folks. He looks hurt." Billy's stomach unclenched long enough for one partial, pathetic inhale. Then it opened fully. He heaved in ragged, deep breaths. With the air came all the pain he'd momentarily blocked out. His ear screaming and stinging, his face throbbing, his ribs pulsing and dull. "Get up, pussy," Butch said. "If you stay down, I'll break your fingers one at a time until you get up again." "I didn't." It was hard to speak while gasping in breaths. "Kill Big Hack." "You got 5 seconds to stand up," Butch said. "If you don't, I'll start with your pinky. 1, 2, 3. Billy used the wall to push himself to his feet. His eyes watered. Through a shimmering haze, he saw Butch, his fists up, lightly bouncing on his toes. And he saw a dragon, bound like a black ham wrapped in golden netting, shuddering as she tried and failed to make any headway against the gleaming mesh. "That's it, little B," Butch said. "You're going to take this beating till you can't get up no more, and that's when I'm going to really hurt you." Billy tried to imagine what it would feel like to have his fingers broken one at a time. Probably not very good. Not very good at all. Lincoln wasn't here. No Magda. No Ariella. Dragon couldn't help. Billy had no one but himself. Butch was 6 inches taller and outweighed him by 50 pounds. It wasn't a fair fight. "A fair fight is the one you lose." Link's words came back to him. Or were those Magda's words, quoting Link? It didn't matter. "If I had a 5 spot for every sack I've kicked, I'd have $1 million. Those were Link's words. Billy remembered that for sure. One nutshot could put Butch down. It was either that or get beat so bad, all Billy would be able to do is listen to the sound of his own bones snapping. Billy took 3 wobbling steps away from the wall, and he raised his fists. "All right, motherfucker," he said. "Come and get it." Butch smiled. His guard up, he came forward. Billy snap-kicked at Butch's crotch. Butch twisted quick, a move of grace and speed. Billy's toe hit him on the hip. A hand whipped in so fast, Billy barely saw it. Butch's palm cracked Billy's cheek with a sound like a snapping belt and a pain like cold fire. Billy took one surprised, stumbling step back, his fingers going to his cheek. Oh, shit! A laughing Money Monday had one hand on his sternum, the other pointing a finger at Billy. Oh, he slapped you like a bitch because you are a bitch, little B. You tried to kick him in the nuts? That's a tiny, weak little bitch you are. Little weak bitch. Some of the Rolling Outlaws laughed along with him. The sound of laughter screwed its way into Billy's brain, laughing at him, mocking him. A slap. In the middle of a fist fight, Billy had tried a cheap shot and Butch had slapped him for it. Heat rose in Billy's face, making his stinging cheek sting even more. Here comes the hurt, little B, Butch said. Here comes the real hurt. Butch closed in. He reared back to throw a right-handed haymaker. Just as his weight came forward on his left leg, Billy's right foot came down, drove forward and down. Shoot, sorry, I was rolling. Try that again. Just as his weight came forward on his left leg, Billy's right foot came up, drove forward and down. Billy felt the solidity of the strike, felt something in Butch's knee crunch as it bent the wrong way. Butch cried out and dropped, hands clutching at his knee, his lower leg wobbling in a way that was not normal. You didn't have to be a doctor to know that he was not getting up. Chest heaving, body hurting, Billy stared down. Stared down at Butch. Butch, who Billy had just beat in a straight-up fight. It was unbelievable. It felt incredible. Now who's the bitch, Butch? You big, dumb, ugly piece of shit. Now tell me how to open up that net, or... Billy saw only a hint of motion before Money Monday's fist hammered into his temple. Billy stumbled away, his watery legs carrying him 2 shaking steps before Money Monday landed another blow, this one to Billy's nose. Billy felt and heard a crunch not so different from when he had broken Butch's knee. The world spun. Billy fell to the floor. He opened his squinting, tearing eyes just in time to see the heel of a red Nike before it smashed into his mouth. Billy rolled backward, thudded up against the bound dragon. Money Monday stared down. Billy wasn't getting up. He knew it. Money knew it. Money went to Butch, as did 2 of the outlaws. The others kept pounding on the nave door, building up an intensifying rhythm of big shoulders driving at it in unison. Billy heard the wood starting to crack. Eyes not fully cooperating, Billy glanced at poor Dragon. She simply could not move. Her big black eyes stared back at him. That golden netting. It wasn't gold anymore. It was, but it wasn't, because the metal was made up of thousands of shimmering threads. Billy saw the magic coursing within them. Quietly, slowly, with one shaking hand, Billy tried to slide his fingers underneath a golden strand. Lincoln saw light ahead. His right leg almost numb, he pushed forward with his left, awkwardly hopping and dragging Mercutio along. He could hear Veronica and whoever she still had with her running to catch up to him, moving faster than he could. They'd got past the ward shield, and they were closing in. Rough stone blocks lined the narrow opening. Through it, Lincoln saw an industrial light fixture, dusted. Through it, Lincoln saw an industrial light fixture, rusted and dented, dimly illuminating a room with a dirty stone floor. That was where he would make his last stand. He couldn't run anymore. His muscles felt weak. Was his pulse slowing? He hauled Mercutio through the opening, tossed the still unconscious man deeper into the room's thick shadows, then turned and stood just inside the entrance, leaning against it for both balance and cover. If he had had 60 seconds to use meshwork to counter the poison, he'd be fine, but he didn't have 60 seconds. He heard thudding footsteps coming down the passage and coming fast. The Vepper steel slugs wouldn't stop Veronica, not unless he put one through her eye, but they'd hurt like the dickens and slow her down. And they would make mincemeat out of her thugs. Lincoln took in a fast breath, let it out slow and quiet. He heard the footsteps coming closer, closer. He leaned out, saw the oncoming AK-47 wielding gunman an instant before the gunman saw him. One quick squeeze of the shotgun's trigger sent 3 12-gauge steel slugs straight through the man's chest. The gunman fell forward. Veronica was only a step behind, a stubby chrome pistol in her hand, firing before the gunman's body hit the ground. Bullets slammed into Lincoln's armor, thunderous in their power. One hit the shotgun. He lurched back behind the opening stone blocks, and when he did, his wounded leg gave out on him. He fell hard, the poison numbing more of him now, slowing him. There was a deep dent in the shotgun's chamber, rendering the weapon useless. Lincoln reached into his cloak for Bastard Maker, the best choice for close quarters combat. He gripped the haft, felt a thrill of hope, a comfort of familiarity, of reliability, and he came to his feet. Veronica Flechette's broadsword drove through his left shoulder, piercing armor and flesh and bone. It wasn't the first time he'd been run through with a sword. The words of his old trainer, the monk Marchimus, blazed in his mind. If you get stabbed, you know where the stabber is. Lincoln whipped Bastard Maker in a brutal left-to-right arc. Another would-have-been kill shot had the poison not slowed him. Veronica ducked back, the hatchet's edge grazing her cheek and slicing off a handful of trailing black hair. She stepped in with a left hook that caught Lincoln's jaw. He sagged away, dropped backward, Veronica's sword sliding free of his shoulder with a squelch and a scrape of metal on bone. Lincoln Franks' armored body thudded against the stone. Take a sippy poo. Lincoln Franks' armored body thudded against the stone floor with a rattling clank. He felt the tip of a sword press against his throat. He looked up, past the blood-streaked blade gleaming in the paltry light, to see Veronica Flechette staring down at him. "You killed my sister," she said, "and Fluffykins." Lincoln's body felt like jello. His jaw felt like he was in the middle of dental surgery, and his shoulder felt like, well, like some big-haired broad had just driven a broadsword through it. It's a broad twice in the same sentence. Let me try that again. Well, like some big-haired broad had just driven a sword through it. "Yeah, I did," he said. "But in my defense, your sister Betty was a real cunt, and your cat smelled like piss." Veronica's lip curled up. I was going to take my time with you, she said. But you're such a miserable, drunken prick. It's not worth my time. A woof of metal cutting through the air. An axe blade sliced through Veronica's neck. Her head tumbled forward as her body dropped like a discarded rag doll. The head hit the stone floor, bounced once, landed on Lincoln's cheek. Oof. The head hit the stone floor, bounced once, landed on Lincoln's chest, neck down. Before it rolled away, he saw the sneer of fury and heartbreak still fixed on Veronica's mouth. A muscled minotaur stepped forward, one horn knocking against the hanging light fixture, making it wobble. Get your weapons, Bobby said. Lean on me. I'll carry Mercutio. Hurry. Oleus is coming in through the ceiling. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was still Oleus Oakbeard, Boss Hawg, Dante, and Dante's thugs to deal with. 1 second, Lincoln said. Bitch poisoned me. He reached into the folds of his cloak as Bobby picked up Mercutio and flung him over one massive shoulder. Lincoln's fingers found the small case that he needed. He opened it, his numb hands barely able to follow his commands. He pulled the brass and glass hypodermic from inside the case. He slid the needle through the hole in his thigh armor. He slid the needle through the hole in his thigh armor and into the wound made by Veronica's poison spike. He jammed the plunger down. He had stopped himself from screaming when the sword steel ruined his shoulder. This was a different level of pain. As the antitoxin spread through his body, Lincoln screamed in agony. Don't be such a goddamn baby, Bobby said. Lincoln accepted the pain. It was going to hurt the same whether he laid there or if he moved, so he might as well move. He picked up Bastard Maker. His shotgun was worthless. Bobby extended a hand. Lincoln took it, let the Minotaur help him to his feet. Lincoln leaned heavily on Bobby as they moved to another opening deeper in the room. Before they stepped through, a fast glance showed Lincoln an unexpected horror. The slightly swinging fixture cast drab light on the walls covered in what looked like dried-out creeper vines that laced through shriveled, emaciated human corpses. Skulls, here and there, with dark eye sockets for eyes and skin mummified to the bone like lumpy shellac. Holy fuck, Lincoln said. You guys grow polyps in here? Use your eyes, Link. The anemones are long dead. This place was old before Callista bought it. Keep moving. We have to get to her before it's too late. Through the opening into another dark dirt corridor. Lincoln heard the thud of a subwoofer. Let me just pause. Throat's dying, boys. Lincoln heard the thud of a subwoofer. The final fight would be to the tune of synth-heavy dance music. 7 steps coming up, Bobby said. We're almost there. Lincoln hopped along, leaning on Bobby, feeling the antitoxin do its thing. It wouldn't make the poison's effects go away completely, but at least his heart wouldn't stop working. At the top of the steps, Bobby pushed something. Another hidden door, probably. Pulsating, multicolored lights filled the passage. Over teeth-rattling techno music, Lincoln heard gunfire and screams. Bobby stepped forward, leaned Lincoln against a counter. Not a counter, a bar top. The club had 3 bars. This one was all the way in the back, a good 100 feet from the dance floor. The flashing disco lights reflected off bottles of booze and the mirror behind them. Callista's club was a war zone. People fought in the shadows, in the velvet-roped booths, and on the dance floor, which pulsed in squares of red and blue and yellow and orange. Miami gangster toughs went at it with combat-garbed club kids. Knives and swords and spears and fists seemingly striking in time to the heavy bass beat. Up at the ceiling above the dance floor, only a few feet from the spinning mirror ball, Lincoln saw Oleus Oakbeard dropping down from a whirling ring of shivering, cobalt blue energy. "Callista!" the druid called out. "Your time has..." A blinding jet of ruby red flame lashed out like a spray of molten magma, splashing against Oleus, sending him flying backward. He smashed into a booth, kicking up a cloud of spinning splinters and chunks of dark wood. Lincoln felt the mental touch of Shitbird. The double dampening field fluttered and sputtered, thrown out of whack from the blast delivered to the druid. Callista strode out from behind her throne, all armor and red patent leather, her eyes and hands blazing with that same ruby red flame. "You dare to come into my home, Oakbeard?" She raised a hand toward the druid, who was struggling to get to his feet. "Before I kill you, you should know I fucked your daughter too." Her hand blazed a blinding bone white. "I will melt the flesh from your bones." A Miami thug stepped onto the dance floor and opened up with an AR-15, pouring the entire magazine at Callista. The bullets burst like little fireworks before they reached her. Callista threw the blazing white energy at the man. He burst into a white flame. Lincoln saw his eyes pop. His scream drowned out the techno music, but only for a moment, before his bubbling flesh sagged and drooped. He fell to the dance floor, twitching and clawing at his face. I say, it seems we need something bigger." Lincoln looked to the cobalt energy ring still swirling in the club's dark ceiling in time to see the white-suited Boss Hawg floating down, an M320 grenade launcher in his right hand, aimed at Callista. He fired. The round moved slow enough that Lincoln saw it fly from him to her. Like the bullets, the grenade spark burst just before hitting her, but it was not a bullet. A ball of indigo light puffed out into a shock wave that threw people from the dance floor, Callista included. Sorry. Yes, there's a lot of unska going on. Almost done. She sailed backward and slammed into her throne, knocking it over as she stumbled past. Lincoln saw Gary Sater, half of his knife sheath empty and a trident of all things in his furry hands, rush to her side. She looked groggy, slow to rise. Boss Hawg floated down to the dance floor, the flashing strobes lighting up his white suit in a clash of staccato colors. He opened the M320's chamber and put in another fat shell as his two black trenchcoat-wearing sidekicks, still wearing their wraparound sunglasses, dropped down of the cobalt ring to stand next to him, scimitars in their hands. Dante, in a red Adidas tracksuit with white stripes, slid through next, landing behind them, followed by 4 cradlebats that streaked toward Oakbeard. The energy ring shrunk inward, fluttered, then vanished. Lincoln's tenuous connection with Shitbird vanished as well. The double dampening spell was back. "Too bad we can't call for help," Lincoln said. We might be fucked. Maybe. Bobby dropped the still alert Mercutio behind the bar. He grabbed a bottle off the mirrored shelf, bit the spigot, pulled it out, and spit it aside. He put the bottle to his mouth, tipped it high, slugged down 4 gulps, then held the bottle out to Lincoln. But if we are, let's send some of these dogs to their graves first. Lincoln took the bottle. That was pretty fucking cool, Bobby. I know, the Minotaur said. Lincoln took a gulping swig, not caring that the mouth of the bottle had bull spit all over it. Tequila. Not his usual fare, but this stuff was pretty good. The warmth spread through his chest. He tossed the bottle aside. A wobbly Oleus Oakbeard stumbled over to stand next to Boss Hawg. Lincoln saw Dante slap both of them on the shoulder. Then the tracksuit-wearing goblin pointed toward Callista and her fallen throne. It's go time, Link, Bobby said. He hefted his double-bladed Labrys. If you want to see your kid again, we need to take these punks out. Lincoln hurt all over, from his thigh to his jaw to his shoulder and the left arm that hung limp, blood sliding down the inside of his armor to drip out the gaps in his gauntleted fingers. He was in no shape to fight. But there was no choice. If Callista died, Sam would never leave the shelf. Lincoln tested his weight on his wounded leg. It held. He reached into his cloak again. Once again, he drew his hatchet, bastard maker. Well, this is a dance club after all, he said. So let's dance. Shitbird waited to see if the cradle bats flew back up out of the energy ring on the roof of Callista's building. They did not. The ring shrunk in on itself, then blinked away in a silent cobalt blue-green. The ring shrunk in on itself, then blinked away in a silent cobalt blue gleam that momentarily lit up the clouds above. It was time to go. He launched off the old water tower, flapping as hard as he could away from the building. He'd had just a moment's connection to Lincoln, enough to know that the man was in a lot of trouble. Shitbird could not help him. But if he flew fast enough, he might reach someone who could help him. He shot through the night, heading straight, as the crow flies, toward Sunset House. That was episode 32 of Slay. Come back for episode 33, which might be the finish of the fight scene, and it might not. It just depends. Talk to y'all soon. All right. So I had a fucking throat trickle. A throat trickle. Same difference. Let's get that off here. Baby girl, come on up. Back to main. All right, gentlemen and ladies. Shit's getting crazy in this story. We're about to, we might finish up the next episode. I'm not sure yet. Rob's not sure yet. We're working on it. But at most, 3 episodes left. Probably 2. We'll see how it goes. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. All right, let me go back to read some of y'all's lovely comments here. Jen Ether is in the house. What's up, girl? Tracy's in the house. Dr. Dan Baker, PhD. Yes, I'm a loud drinker, Michael Gray. So what? So what of it? I enjoy the fluids that enter my mouth. What do you want me to say?
Oh, my God. Is that what you said?
I did, sweetheart.
Sakes alive.
Yep. Oh, she's waving. Let's go back to main. We're going to have to reset that camera for you.
It's okay.
And where the heck is... Gosh darn it. I must have moved something. I don't have your stupid noise anymore. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Gosh darn it.
A entry up there?
Where? Here? Oh, the one, the giant thing.
The one that says A entry.
I literally put a giant multicolored light bulb as the icon for this button so I wouldn't miss it.
Because I'm smart.
And I missed it. You are very smart, lady. You are very smart. All right, let's get you back over here. Take a minute to get you dialed in, I think. Jason, I don't know if we'll get more shitbird ringtones or... Thank you, Sweet Pea. It's been a rough day. A little bit of a rough day, you guys. I got fucking ADD rabbit holed into doing a whole bunch of research on Warpath that I probably don't fucking need, but that's the way it goes. Let's get this down a little bit.
You have to turn this on for me. Or whatever.
Oh, I just got to... yep, got you, baby. Hold on. All right, give it a shot, babe.
How's that? Yeah, that's a little bit better.
Hold on, let me mute it. Why? Take that off.
Okay.
Unsheathe that big black microphone, girl. There we go.
Never a dull moment.
It's been an odd week for the Siglers, you guys. An odd week for these Siglers. A lot of forgetting
we're gonna
going
talk
on.
about it. Yeah.
Also, it's too early for Halloween. We literally, the lighting looks like we're in a Halloween right now.
I know
we're in a Halloween.
Several people have mentioned mood lighting.
Come on, man. Nothing I can do it. No, Sean, the sword is not called Bastard Maker. The hatchet is called Bastard Maker. How does that work? Dude, you know what? Go talk to the Vikings, bro. Go talk to the Vikings. They're the ones
Ready?
who named it.
That's how it works.
Bro, don't take it up with me. It's a 4,000-year-old weapon. You go deal with the people who made the goddamn thing. I can't help you. Say quick look. Oh, well, why don't you let me mute your...
Yeah, mute it because this is...
Go. It goes the other way, baby.
Well, it was falling off, so...
Oh, okay, you know what? Hold on one sec, guys. Sorry.
I'm holding on to it because...
Do hand puppets for me.
Oh, okay. I'm talking about The Godfather Part 2. I don't know if you would know that.
And we are back from our random...
Oh, you did it. Thank you so much.
This is some serious... Thank you, Sweet Pea. I know. Whoop, shit.
Did yours fall apart?
Welcome to our live interpretation of the Keystone Cops. We're here for you. That's right. All right, there we go. How long did that reading take? We got 15, 16, 17 minutes to go.
So first we're going to talk a little bit about how this week has been, forgive my bad language, a little bit of a motherfucker.
Let that go. Leave it be. It's been a crazy time.
For more than just Scott and I. I'll talk about how it's been for Scott and I. My brother, who is in the chat room right now, he's actually up at my parents' house, which is about an hour north of here, but he's actually coming to our house tonight. He just didn't want to show up during Sigler and Place. But Jude, who you know and love, he's in the chat room. He's actually also in San Diego because... This week, the USS Mobile Bay is being decommissioned, and he was invited, and he invited us. And so tomorrow we get to go and experience that, which is very cool, and I'm very excited about it. But also, yesterday he arrived, and I went to pick him up, and then I came back here, and I collected Scott and the dogs, and we went to my parents' house about an hour north of here. Didn't bring a crate for the dogs. Didn't bring food for the dogs. Didn't walk the dogs before we left. Like, we failed on so many levels going yesterday, but it all worked out. Everything was fine. Yesterday we celebrated my stepdad's birthday, and it was wonderful and really, really fun. And it's so good to have Jude here, and I can't wait. We had decided he was not going to be here before this show started. So he's going to come down later, but you guys know and love him, so that's okay.
Yeah, D79 says, hold on. No, wait, I replied, hold on. I'm still getting the. You know what, guys? I've only been doing this 3 years. It's no big deal. D79 says. I just want to let everybody else see it and the other threads see it.
Yeah. So
my DragonCon goal is to see if I can trick Scott into spilling Warpath details. Listen, the answer to your goal, the method to your madness is just fucking Scotch. It's not very complicated.
well, yes and no. You have to find him. So I will say I'm going to post.
I'm busy for DragonCon.
We are going to post the DragonCon schedule in the appearances section of Scott's website tomorrow, but also I'll make a post that just says here's where he will be at DragonCon. If you guys are regular DragonCon attendees, you will know that Scott has been gone from DragonCon for 3 years, and the one for the Junkies panel that was always on Saturday
I forgot
night
to ask
at
if we
11
could have for that.
p.m. We don't have that. And
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, and we may or may not, because of course we've been gone for 3 years, and it's a volunteer organization, so they had to fill that slot, and I don't blame them.
Did you see the slot is filled?
Yeah.
It is filled.
Well, I mean, but there's many spaces, so where we used to be is filled.
Oh, that's the biggest thing. So if we're, Jesus, what am I?
Party!
Welcome on to the field, bus. Get in, loser. We're going failing.
So, we're working on that. We currently don't have a Saturday night, 11 p.m. one for the Junkies panel, and that makes sense because they're filling space for people who will come, and we haven't been in the last 3 years, so that makes sense. But we'll figure it out. Scott's on a lot of writers panels. He's on authors panels, podcast panels, all that stuff. So we'll sort that out. And the worst case scenario, we'll tell you where we are. We'll broadcast where we are, and you can come and hang out with us.
I will say one thing. They put me on a writers of book talk panel.
They
So
did.
these are writers. You know, the Ute, the kids using the book, using the TikTok to sell their books. And I'm like, I already emailed. I'm like, I don't use this stuff at all. I have no idea how any of this works. If they don't take me off the panel, if my name's still on the list, I will show up.
They already did.
Oh, they did?
They did, yeah.
How did you see that? I didn't see it.
Because I guess I'm the person that they email.
I guess.
So that's already sorted out.
guess.
He's
Good.
off the book talk panel. We're working on whether or not we can actually have a room for one for the Junkies panel. If we can't,
Are you working? When you say we, I mean you are already working on this?
I'm working with DragonCon. Me
You're
and
the fucking
DragonCon.
boss. Look
That's
at you.
how that works. That's my job.
She's so great. She's so great. Listen,
The two
anybody,
Utes,
if
Rob
you are
Otto.
going to
The two
DragonCon,
Utes.
please
It
say
was a
something in the chat room.
1964 Mustang. No, sorry.
With Positraction, if you're going to DragonCon,
No, you did not.
oh, easy.
Yes, sorry.
If you're going to DragonCon, put it in the chat room. I want to see everybody. I'm going
And
to see
here's the big thing.
there. It is a PMP, Martin. You are 100%
Yeah,
correct.
of course you already know. We're both
Certified.
PMPs,
We're
actually.
both PMPs.
Yeah, but here's what I will tell you. If you are
Steve will hang
actually
out.
physically going to DragonCon and you are not my dear friend Steve Rickeberg, who I'm already talking to every day about DragonCon and excited about it, if you're not and you want to make sure, like you want to know that you will get to see Scott, please, 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 I say this all the time. I know it's easier to do it every other way, but email me at info@emptyset and say, I'm going to be at DragonCon and I'm not sure I can see Scott. I want to make sure I get the news because I'm going to make a text list. So give me your phone number, give me your email address. Obviously, I'll have that if you email me. And I will send out links when we're just going to be hanging out the rest of the night. I will send an email
Hanging out.
with the... what is that called? Community? How you advertise for this? The text you make for this?
I'm not sure. Give
When
me
you
more
send
detail.
a text in the morning, when you say, hey, the FDO.
The SMS list. By
Yeah.
the way, let's go over that real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to tell you. A lot of people have been telling me they would sign up for the SMS list. Very important people, good people, the best people have been telling me this. And as of this morning, as of the time I sent out this text, 699 people on the text list. Who's going to be number 700? Who's going to be number 700? Is it going to be you or is it going to be your competition? You got to bear down, jabroni. You got to dig down deep. You got to get those extra curl reps. You got to get those reps in. You got to... So, SIG text to 855-955. at 5095, and you might be number 700. What's up with that? All right, back to the
But
main
really,
thing.
honestly, the bigger thing, and if you guys are not going to Dragon Con, we weren't planning on going to Dragon Con this year either, but that's how it ended up. So, if you are going to Dragon Con and you want to make sure you get these texts, you have two options. You subscribe to 855-955-5095. That is at the bottom of your screen right now. Or you email me at info@emptyset.com. I know you're on Facebook or Twitch or Discord or whatever. Don't do that. Email me. Don't PM me. Email me.
Real quick, can you tell Jen to stop grab-assing?
Hathorn?
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
Just do it. Trust me. Trust me, baby. Trust your husband. Trust your
Jen Hathorn, quit grab-assing. Rub some dirt in it and get back in the game. But also smooch me at DragonCon, okay? Smooch me at DragonCon. Hug and smooch me.
There is no prize for being number 700 other than you guys. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. After this week, I would say you should get your, you should come see me at DragonCon because I'm not sure I'll be able to write books anymore after this week.
Why?
My brain's been noodle.
Oh, you've
I've
had,
been fucking noodle brain,
it.
man.
So
It's
here's
been
the thing.
tough,
We have
dude.
so many things going on this week. As I mentioned, my brother is in town. He's at some point tonight going to be sleeping in our home, which is very exciting and fun. And then tomorrow he's going to share with us this decommissioning of the USS Mobile Bay, which is a big fucking deal.
It's cool. So Mobile Bay, do you know what kind of ship it is?
It's a destroyer. Is that right?
Oh, is that right? Fuck, dude. So tomorrow morning.
No. I might be right. Actually, I think this is no. I'm wrong.
What
His
have I done
other
wrong
ship
with the
was.
lights?
His other ship was. The Mobile Bay is an aircraft carrier. I think.
No. Mobile Bell's not an aircraft carrier. You know what? I'm going to look it up because I'm talking like. Steve, close your eyes for this episode. Shut the fuck up and don't watch it. Also, don't listen to it. Clearly.
It's a cruiser.
Cruiser.
Oh,
Yeah.
you just said it. He beat me to it.
Yeah, cruiser.
I knew
So
it wasn't a destroyer.
We
It's
get
a
to
cruiser.
go be on. I've never been on a cruiser before. We get to go be on a ship, get to experience this wonderful thing with my bro Lo, who served on that ship. Super excited. I'm not getting any writing. I have writing.
Aegis class cruiser.
Oh, an Aegis class. I have writing scheduled for the afternoon, but I'm pretty sure I won't get any of that writing fucking done.
It's so exciting.
I'll be
It's
so
so
pumped.
exciting. So my brother is an Army veteran and a Navy veteran, and he is taking Scott and I with him to see the decommissioning of the USS Mobile Bay, which is very exciting for us who are both civilians and always have been, but particularly exciting for me because my mom, my dad, and my brother, who are my only immediate family, are all veterans, and I'm not. So I got to cruise with, I got to go on a Tiger cruise tour. I can't remember, but like sometimes
Shut
civilians
up,
can come
Rob.
and do that.
You're cruising.
And I got to
cruising.
do that with my brother when he was on the Cowpens. But when we were on when I was doing that Tiger cruise thing, or the USS Cole was attacked in the Bay of Yemen, and we were well far away from the Bay of Yemen, but it was an active attack on a U.S. military ship, so it was weird and exciting because I was my brother's sister, but also my mother had already been on one of these Tiger cruises or Tiger tours or whatever they're called. Oh, my mom's in the chat room too. I got put in these fancy ass I got put in fancy ass quarters on the Tiger cruise, and then just had to stay there all day because the U.S. Navy was being attacked. It was so interesting. So this will be the next time that I am on a naval ship, and I'm super excited about it. And I'm super excited to get to experience this.
It's going to be very fun. I'm very looking forward to it very much. All right, so we've got about
What
0
is
minutes left.
Still aiding mean?
It's supposed to be stealing.
Oh, stealing
Stop.
what?
I can't see what I'm typing with the keyboard. It's right here, but I can't see it because for some reason every time I move my hand, there's a shadow, which has never been here before. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening. You guys, this is, other than the story, which Rob Otto went through and said was great, this has been a shit show of an episode. A shit show. Not gonna lie.
Really? Why? What
'Cause, like,
happened?
I don't know what the lighting's off. I don't know what's happening.
The story went great.
But that's all I know. Aside from the story, aside from the story,
We'll take lots of pictures.
we'll take lots of pictures. Most of it'll be me and A doing this.
I think everyone will. Ow!
Yeah.
If you wear headphones, it gets.
Did I not mention shit show, son?
You did.
Yes.
You did.
By the way, everybody, she got her A-Real Go Herself necklace on. Can you just stand up and show the people this?
Sure.
Best fucking Christmas present I've ever bought the girl. Right here.
Actually, all three of these are from you.
That's right.
So we're doing this.
A-Real Girl herself. It's so fun.
And there's a little kraken.
A little cracking.
And then the same stone that's in my engagement ring, which makes me happy. My mom is in the chat room. She's asking me if I'm using my Bronx voice since
No.
I grew up in New York
I don't
City,
think you
but
are
I
using your
don't
Bronx
think
voice.
so. He can tell.
Okay, here we go. Let's switch over here. Listen, my wife right here is, she's from Manhattan. And actually, I know that's Staten Island. I don't have all my 5 boroughs
No, that's fine.
dialects down correctly.
You're fine.
But when she was college,
Nelson's
post-college, she decided people were giving her shit for her accent. So because she's like, I am going to eliminate my accent, and I am going to not give you bitches any opportunity to fuck with me whatsoever. And she just made that accent fucking go away. But every now and then, Norton, every now and then, when she gets a little bit in her cups, it starts to come up. And I always know it's going to get started because of one word. Do you know what that word is?
Is it water? Is it daughter?
No, try not to laugh because water does pop up from time to time. But it's always like where everything's fine. She's got this wonderful, cultured, delightful voice and this lovely, lovely, mellifluous accent. And then all of a sudden be like, you know what? I'm going to go down and take care of the laundry.
Oh.
And then I'm going to...
It's totally always laundry.
Can you help me? You know what, honey? Can you help me fold the laundry, and then we'll watch the Better Call Saul just after the laundry.
Okay.
And I'm always like, it's fun time. Woo!
Okay.
It's just gonna go on the top now.
Scott's totally right. But I will say this. My best friend, one of my best friends, Maria Walters, who is often in the chat room, or Maria D'Souza is often in the chat room. She's not tonight, but she's often in the chat room. And she is a human being who was born and bred in India of Indian descent and educated in, I think, in England because her dad was a diplomat. So she and I both have the same tell. When her accent creeps out or when my accent creeps out, the second it does, it should be like, oh, okay, well, let's get you to bed. Let's get you going home before you make an ass out of yourself. And what happens to Maria and I when we hear each other showing our accents is we egg each other on. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible or great. It's actually great.
Would like to point out that I in no way have ever egged on a real girl herself.
Or Maria.
To say, I've never once said, baby, what is that? What is that you wanted me to help you with?
What do you want me to fold?
I want you to help me with the laundry. Oh, so you're trying to say, so what are you doing first? And then I'm going to do the laundry, and then we're going to watch Better Call Saul. And I'm just like, and then with Maria, it's the same thing.
I will find. So a lot of you guys don't know this. Steve actually just mentioned it. Steve Rickyberg, my dear friend, just mentioned it in the Facebook chat room. There is this beautiful moment from Dragon Con ages and ages and ages ago, but I think I have video of Scott and Maria.
It's a little bit cringeworthy now.
It is, but it's okay.
Because remember,
it's
this was
not
15
bad,
years ago.
It's not bad, though.
But you know what? I was also valid. I was valid in
it's
my
not bad.
substrate of my comedy was very valid.
So, Maria, and you guys who have heard Scott's accents, especially in his books in the aughts, if you listen to Earthcore or Ancestor or anything in the aughts, the not re-recorded ones, you may remember that Scott did his best with character voices, and a lot of you will dog him about his female voices, but Maria a woman of Indian descent took him to task at DragonCon 2010 and said he wasn't so good at Indian accents.
And I told her.
And he told her.
I told her that my Indian accent is impeccable, it is unattainable, it is
who were
unassailable.
you?
I was Brian from customer support.
You were.
Because this was just at the time I had a Dell computer, and Dell had decided, you know what? We're going to offshore customer support. And you guys, we'll finish after this. We'll go after this, but you got to hear this whole thing through. It's a little bit intricate. So I've been a Mac guy my entire life.
True.
I took out a loan to get a Mac LC2, if I remember. My parents had to co-sign. I've been Mac way back when. It's the first thing I got as part of my pursuit of being a writer. Went to college. They had Macs. Went and got a job in a Mac shop, a software company that did software for specifically Macs and journalism. So I've been around my whole life. Finally, I'm like, you know what? These things are too goddamn expensive. I'm tired of this shit. I'm going to get a PC and be smart. And I'm going to get a PC and I'm going to use my Ring PC. Found out that PCs have a whole big giant problem called viruses, which never had experienced in a Mac once in my life. And I'm constantly troubleshooting this thing. And as I am troubleshooting it, I already know, I don't know anything now, but back then I knew quite a bit about basic fundamental computer knowledge. We called the support, and it was always somebody with an Indian accent who was telling me that they had an American first name. And I'm like, and I just got, because first of all, who makes someone say their first name is not their first name to do their goddamn job? So I was offended on the behalf of them. I'm like, I don't care how many syllables your name is, say it. We'll get this, give me something I can communicate. Don't tell me your name is John. Your name is not John. I can tell. I can fucking tell.
Hello, 2023, and we still have to do that because they'll get fired otherwise.
But they would get fired. And the other thing they would get fired for is, and this sucked, is after the 18th computer support call, I would call them and say, okay, so I'm having this problem, and I'm telling you right now, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done all these things. The reason I'm calling you is because the 7 steps that will solve this problem didn't solve it, so now I need pro help. And poor Brian. Brian be
from
like,
Cleveland.
I would like you to restart the computer. I will stay online with you. I'm like, no, Brian, I know.
I did that.
I know. It's the first thing. All right, I would
they
like
don't
you
have an option.
to run
They must.
this .exe. I'm like, first of all, I'd be mad. I'd be like, you know, we're not continuing this conversation. Tell me your real name. I'm just not. I want to know who you are.
Right,
but
learned.
They will get fired if they.
Yeah.
And this is an important job. So I used to get super frustrated. I'm like, I will now spend 45 minutes while you go through the script that you've been told if you don't follow, you will get fired, to get to the point where we now are at the point where I actually need your expertise. And the problem always got solved. I'm like, why do we have to? You and I both know we don't need to go through this, son.
And you guys do
it.
this. You guys do this, right? Like, you want to short circuit that whole thing and say, bro, I got you. We don't need to go through the whole script. But everything gets recorded, as you know, because they tell you that before they connect you. And that dude can get fired. That woman can get fired. That dude can get fired if he's not doing the whole script.
Oh, geez. Tracy, don't even tell me about shipping Adele, son. I'm with you. But it was just so frustrating. It was like I knew that Brian knew more than I did. Brian knew that he knew more than I did.
Yeah.
And we're both like,
you can't do anything.
I'm like, Brian, I just honestly don't have an hour to go through the checklist that I already know. Can we just cheat the system, son? Let's go.
I said,
let's go.
Can you just go to step 7 once?
Forex, I did IT for a living for 5 years.
And the answer was, I cannot. I was like, are you sure? I accept steps 1 through 7. Can we go to 7? I cannot.
It was so bad. I was able to tell whoever the person was on the phone, I'm like, I have done steps 1 through 7, as you did. I'm like, I've done all of these things. And the poor motherfuckers, you could just see them cringing in their cubicle to be like, this gentleman knows more than most people I talk to, but I have no choice. I have to go through it. So the impression of Maria was Brian from customer support. And
I'll find
I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either because it was accurate.
It
was accurate.
wasn't punching down, I'll say.
No, it wasn't, because the frustration point I had was Brian and I both knew. Brian knew more. We both knew I was on the phone because Brian could do things I couldn't do, but we still had to go through this charade of a dance. He was not allowed to go,
Yeah, because
okay,
Brian couldn't say,
so
I
you've
know.
done all these things.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go to here, and I will help you from here. He knew what he had to do, but he wasn't allowed to. And
Because some guy in, like, who knows where, I don't know, Singapore, Myanmar, Cleveland, somebody somewhere in that global business can be like, you did not
Holy shit.
follow the steps.
I got to talk about this real quick. 4X on Twitch said, he's trying to get customer support, said, we have a help desk that routed my own ticket back to me, saying it was my IT that had to fix it. So 4X is fucking calling for help, and they routed all the way back around to
himself.
him. To him, and he's like,
he already
"Mother-"
knew. He already knew he couldn't
He's like-
solve the problem.
He's like, not Chris Rock, Chris Tucker. He's like Chris Tucker. He's like Chris Tucker. He's like, I already told you. I'm the one who made the call. Now you want me to make the call? Oh, it's just very frustrating. Can we tell him? We'll go after this. Can we
Yes,
tell him this?
we can.
Can we tell him this real quick?
Of course.
So, I gotta tell you this.
It's terrible.
Super funny story. Super funny story. And then we will go. But you guys will appreciate this. So, while A and I don't discuss political things on this show,
Or much.
we, in the privacy of our own home, have discussions about political issues. And we're talking about, President Trump. And I'm sorry, it's not former President Trump. When a person is a president, they're President X for their life. This is the way it is for everybody. We're talking about President Trump. And we're discussing some of the current situations that are going on in the news. And A says to me, well, who's a crazy fucking Trump fan? It's Chris Rock. And I'm like,
I didn't say that. I said.
Yes, you said.
No, I said
What'd you say?
I know that
Chris Rock.
Chris Rock
Chris Rock is a huge Trump
is
supporter.
a Trump supporter.
And
I
I'm
didn't
like-
say crazy anything.
Okay, but Trump supporter. And I'm like, let's go back so I can do my face. I'm like, Chris Rock?
What did I do?
Chris Rock is, and she says, Chris Rock. And I'm like, are you telling me that
Yeah, no, Sean, you're right.
Chris Rock is a diehard Trump supporter? I'm not judging. I'm just surprised.
What
didn't
did I do?
expect that coming. She says, and now A's getting pissed. A's getting pissed. She's like, how many times do I tell you, she's doing this, typewriter style, Chris Rock is a Trump supporter. How have you not seen this? And I'm like, I'm a fucking Chris Rock fan. What do you mean? How have I'm not? This is news to me. How is Chris Rock a Trump supporter? This is
I know,
so
Rob,
shocking.
it's terrible.
And then he's like, yes, Chris Rock, the rapper from Michigan. And I'm like, do you mean Kid Rock?
Sorry, you guys. The whole time. I was like doubling and tripling and quadrupling down.
And getting mad at me. And I'm all in protective spouse mode. I'm like, I'm not striking. I'm just bobbing and weaving. I'm just fucking ducking and covering. And then finally I was like, yes, I'm aware Kid Rock, from my home state of Michigan, is a President Trump supporter. It was a hilarious miscommunication, you guys. Hilarious. But we figured it out, so it worked out pretty good. Now, I don't know.
A rough 5 seconds.
I don't know if Chris Rock is or is not a Trump supporter, but Kid Rock is 100% a diehard President Trump supporter.
And
So there you go.
literally, he's asking me like, "What are you talking? None
like,
of this has happened."
What are you
Because
serious?
I'm like, "No, he did this. Idiot, Egypt."
Fucking
the whole
Rob,
time.
always with the in the chat room. His name is Chris Rock. Fucking Rob, there's a reason I write with you. You're a smart motherfucker.
Sirs and ma'ams.
Steve. Kid Chris, hey, what's the difference? What are you gonna do? It was very funny, and I enjoyed it. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's 11 after 7. My gorgeous, stunning, brilliant wife and I have not had a very strong performance week. I will say that. So we are going to let all of you beautiful people go. We will be back Wednesday, August
pretty good
16th,
week, you guys.
with Slay Part 33, which might very well be the finale. Remember, the finale is the climax of the action. Go ahead, Rob. The climax of the action, not necessarily the end of the story. So the climax, the high point, the pinnacle of the story might be next week. It might be 2 weeks from now, but you better fucking tune in because you don't fucking know and you don't want to fucking miss it. Because I'm sure my voice will be back. Nyoka's in the house. What's up, Zed? All right, you guys are all
whole
beautiful.
time.
We love you. I
Jude,
didn't see any
we'll
chats.
see you when you get here.
Jude, show up. Let's go. 8cam. You guys are all fantastic. I had a bunch of fun tonight. Thank you very much. I had a very difficult day as a creator with my brain not cooperating with the things I want to do. So I appreciate all of you showing up.
Wait a minute. Give me the whole screen here for a sec on your side. And I would like you to, you can ring walk up if you want to, but you could also just wish Dawn Lashinsky a happy birthday on Friday.
Don't even get me fucking started. Friday,
I'm
you
just
said?
saying, Friday's her birthday.
Hold on, I got
It's a big year.
carry it for a second.
It's
Vamp
a
for a second.
big, big year for Dawn Lashinsky and her soon
got
to
it.
be her betrothed. I'll say then. Matt McRobbin.
Hailing from the south of France, she is entering the ring wearing the red trunks with the white Adidas stripes. It is her birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, it is Dawn Whoop-Ass Lashinsky. I guarantee you, as long as you live, Dawn, you will never have a better nickname than Dawn Whoop-Ass Lashinsky. It's just facts. It's fucking facts. All right, you guys are great. We love you. We're going to tell you all now to fucking kiss off into the sky, whatever the fuck. You know what? Go do your fucking laundry. How about that? You do your fucking laundry. And then you go listen to your Chris Rock rap with your fucking laundry.
Your Chris Rock
Your
rap?
Chris Rock rap. No offense if Chris Rock has actually rapped. I haven't heard it. I'm not trying to say he's not a rapper.
Perfect.
I'm just saying. Although he did. No.
Perfect.
Chris Rock is a rapper. He did. There's no love in the champagne room.
Well, I'm not sure though. That's really a rap song.
If you guys haven't heard There's No Love in the Champagne Room, Google that shit tonight. It's great. We are going to get out of here and go fucking hang out, play Fortnite, watch some Better Call Saul while we
Literally,
do the laundry.
the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to make Scott watch the Hot Ones episode, which is where people eat.
Yeah, with who? With who?
With Jennifer Lawrence. So if you want to come back
How
and
the
talk
fuck
about
did
it
that
next
come out?
week.
How did that-
Because I have been waiting to show it to you and I finally found it. So you're going to watch
that
it.
bitch is made of steel, son. I don't think she flinches. I'm going to call her right now.
Jennifer Hathorne, if you see me at Dragon Con and you wanna hug me, just make sure I see you coming because I got bad shoulders. And I would take any hug you have, but I would maybe be
right.
let me see you coming.
Ready?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to tell anyone you want to see him coming, it probably should be me. But I'm just
Sirs and ma'ams, I said for hugs. This is a family show.
Hey man, I
Jesus.
don't know your kink. If a hug fucking does your business, that's your business. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Love you. See you next week, and I will guarantee you that the
We want you to stay smart.
Story time next week is going to be
We need you to-
crazy.
I want you to
to
stay smart.
I want you to stay science.
And for the love of God, all this time and for the rest of your life, we need you to stay informed.